Hello my yarny friends, I'm Sara Sach. Welcome back to my crochet channel. Now today's video we're going to be learning how to crochet the back to school hat. And it's a beanie hat. It can also be a slouchy hat just by doing an extra row of repeat, makes it a little bit longer and make it a slouchy hat. The hat itself will fit about a 22 to 24 inch head. Okay, it measures 22, but remember, hats are stretchy. Now, the best way to make sure that hats are going to fit is to measure as you go and be willing to adjust your hook size. If you're starting your hat and you get to this row here where we're starting our repeats and it's too small, go up a hook size. Is it too big? Go down a hook size. Measuring as you go is the best way to make a hat that fits the person you're making it for. But also keep in mind that yarn does stretch as you wear it. All right? This is our back to school beanie. It has this beautiful texture pattern, and you'll notice that I use some ombres. And this is the yarn here. This is the Premier Just Yarn Ombre. This color is called Fern Ombre. This one I just fell in love with, which is one of their new colors, and it's called Butterscotch Ombre. We're going to be doing our demo in that one today. And then this one here are some leftover ombres. If you remember, we did a pillow and a blanket for my guest room in these 3 different colors of ombre. And I thought, I have 3 balls left of it. It's enough to make a hat. Let's see how it works. And it turned out gorgeous. I just changed colors every so often with whatever I had. And I think it just turned out gorgeous. And so, although I'm doing lots of ombres, you don't have to use an ombre yarn. And we'll talk more about yarns in just a couple minutes. All right? Now, you can find the complete pattern with pictures on my blog. And as always, I'll put that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. Oh, I do want to mention also, I'm stitching up a demo for a matching scarf to go along with this, so you can make a set that would make a wonderful gift set. All right, let's talk more about yarn. These ombres that I used, like I said, are the Premier Just Yarn Worsted Value ombres, and this is that new butterscotch color. And I really love this particular ombre because you can see that the colors move quickly through. They aren't real long ombres, they're a little bit shorter, and I really love how they work up with the hat. And the scarf is working up just as beautifully. Hopefully we'll have the scarf ready for next Monday, okay? That way you'll have a hat done and ready to make the scarf. Now this, of course, is a medium number 4 100% acrylic yarn. So you can use any medium weight number 4 acrylic yarn. I'm just so partial to ombres right now. I just love ombres, but you can use any colors that you want. And of course, although I love the Premier Just Yarn Ombre, you can use any brand ombre. I just really love this one. I love the way it feels. I love how it stitches up. And of course, you know I love Premier yarns. If you want to order some of this, I'll put my Premier yarn link underneath this video, and you can go and look at all the beautiful colors. They have 6 new colors. This is just one of them. They have that bright gold. I have plans for that one this fall as well. All right, so you're going to need approximately 3.5 ounces for the hat. These have 9.8 ounces, and with one of these skeins, you'll be able to get a hat and the scarf, okay? So, with just one skein, you can make a hat and the scarf. And remember, the scarf will be ready for next Monday. Lord willing and the creek don't rise. It's coming out really nice though. All right, we're going to stitch with our H hook, which is a 5mm crochet hook. And then you just need a needle for weaving in ends and a pair of scissors. So we're going to start up at what we call the crown of the hat and work our way down. And I'm using that butterscotch for our demonstration. All right. We'll start with our slip knot. Chain 5. Make that chain 5 into a circle. And make that stay knot. Now, as I always say, if you have another method that you prefer for making your beginning circle, go right ahead. Magic circle, magic ring, any way that you prefer to do that. All right, so we're going to go in, pull up a loop, and chain 3. This chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. And now we're going to stitch 11 double crochets that will give us a total of 12 double crochets in our circle. You'll notice that I am stitching over the tail of yarn. That way we can close up that hole when we're done. It doesn't always leave a hole, but sometimes it does. And nobody wants a hole in the top of their hat. All right, I was chatting and I did not count my stitches, so let's count. Here's my chain 3, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right, and I'm going to count again because I'm just that person. I like to count twice. So here's my chain 3. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So we're going to join to our chain 3 with a slip stitch and chain 3. Now you can wait till the end to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and do this right now. I'm going to gently pull on that string, and that's going to close up that hole in the top of our hat. But like I said, you can wait till you're all done before you do this. I just like to get it over with. Let's see if I can do better at threading that needle. There we go. Now, we're going to go up a few stitches, and remember, this is the inside of the hat that we're working on for weaving in. You can see I'm going back and forth, going through stitches and fibers of the yarn, because it's very important that we get this in here good, because we do not want a hole in the top of our hat, especially if we're making this for a gift. All right, now I'm going to clip that. And so round or row 1 is complete. We have 12 double crochets joined to our chain 3 and chain 3. Now we're ready for row 2. Our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. We're going to double crochet in the same stitch as our chain 3, and then we'll go right to that next stitch and stitch 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Now what we're going to do is stitch 2 double crochets in each of those 12 double crochets all the way around. And this will keep it from being pointed at the top of our hat. Sometimes when we make a beanie, we end up with a point at the top of our hat, and I don't care for that on this one. Sometimes they're kind of cute. But on this one, we're stitching 2 double crochets in each of those 12, and that will help that be a nice flat top to our hat. Alright, so we stitched 1 double crochet in the same stitch as our chain 3, and then 2 in each, so we have 24 double crochets for row 2. We're going to join to that chain 3 with a slip stitch and chain 3. And again, our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. We're not going to stitch in that same stitch. We're going to go to the next stitch and stitch 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Then we'll stitch 1 double crochet in the next double crochet, and then 2 double crochets in the next. And so what our repeat is for row 3 is 1 and 2. 1 double crochet in the next and 2 double crochets in the next. Get some more yarn out here. And we'll repeat this all the way around and join back again to our chain 3. Alright, so for row 3, we're stitching 1 double crochet in the next and 2 in the next. Repeat all the way around and join back to our chain 3. I have completed row 3. We stitched 1 double crochet in the next and 2 in the next, so we did 1 and 2 all the way around, joined to our chain 3 and chained 3. So for row 3 we have 36 double crochets. So we've chained 3, again it counts as 1 double crochet. We're going to double crochet in the next double crochet, so that gives us 2 individual double crochets. Now we're going to put 2 double crochets in the next stitch. 1 and 2. And so our repeat for row 4 is 1 double crochet in the next 2 and 2 double crochets in the next double crochet. 1 and 2. 1 double crochet in the next 2 and 2 double crochets in the next. 1 and 2. And we'll repeat this 2 and 2 all the way around, and again join back to our chain 3. So that's 1 double crochet in the next 2 and 2 double crochets in the next. I have completed row 4, stitching 1 in the next 2, 2 in the next, and repeat all the way around. I joined to my chain 3 and chained 3. So for row 4 we have 48 double crochets. Now we're going to do one more increase row. So our chain 3 again counts as our first double crochet, and we're going to double crochet in the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. So that's 3 individual double crochets. Then we'll stitch 2 double crochets in the next. 1 and 2. I bet you can guess what our repeat's going to be. 1 double crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then 2 double crochets in the next stitch. 1 and 2. So we're doing 3 and 2. Again, those are not any formal or well-known technique names. It's just what I call them to help me remember what I'm supposed to be doing on each row. Alright, so we're going to double crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then 2 double crochets in the next. 1 and 2. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet in the next 3, 2 in the next, and we're going to repeat this working all the way around. And again, this is our last repeat row. Alright, so again, 1 double crochet in the next 3, 2 in the next, all the way around, join back to our chain 3. I have now completed row 5, and again row 5 was 1 double crochet in the next 3 and 2 in the next. Repeat all the way around. We joined to our chain 3 and chained 3. Now for row 6, All we're going to do is just stitch 1 double crochet in each of those stitches, and row 5 has 60 double crochets. All right, and so we're just going to stitch 1 double crochet in each of the double crochets around. We're not increasing anymore. And this is where you can measure to see how around it is, if it's going to fit the person that you're making it for. If it's coming out too small, go up a hook size. If it's coming out too big, go down a hook size. All right? But also keep in mind, it is a very stretchy hat, and so when you wear a hat, sometimes they stretch out a little bit. And so I would always say this: I would rather my hat fit just a little bit snug and stretch a little bit than for it to be too big and stretch too much. All right? Just some notes to help you. All right, so we're just stitching 1 double crochet in each of our double crochets all the way around. And then we'll join back to our chain 3. I have completed row 6, stitching 1 double crochet in each of our double crochets around. So again, we have 60 double crochets. And just so that you know, this is the outside of our hat, this is the inside of our hat. All right? So I joined to my chain 3, and I'm only going to chain 1. Now this next row, we're going to be working in what's called the third loop. And so I want to show you how to find that third loop. When you look at the top of your work, you can see we have a front loop and a back loop up here on the top. Well, the third loop is this loop that's back here. Okay, so we're going to stitch a single crochet in each of the third loops. All right, so we're going to come over here and stitch a single crochet in that third loop. So here's a front loop, back loop, and third loop. Okay, so what that does is it makes it look like you have this braid going around the edge of your hat. All right, so let's look at this real close. Get it way up here. Front loop, back loop, third loop. All right. Let's look at it again real close here. Front loop. This is our back loop. And then that loop right there, that is the third loop. And you're going to stitch 1 single crochet in each of those third loop, going all the way around our hat. And when you look at it, you'll see that it looks like you have a little braid. That's the front loop and the back loop along the edge of our stitch. So we're going to stitch 1 single crochet in each of the third loops, working all the way around our hat. And then we'll join back to that first single crochet. So I have stitched 1 single crochet in each of those third loops, and see how that looks? We've got like this braid sitting on that row, and here's our single crochet that's almost behind, basically. All right, so I did that all the way around. I'm going to join to that first single crochet with a slip stitch, and I'm going to chain 3. All right, so for row 8, we're just going to stitch 1 double crochet in each of the single crochet stitches. All right, and we'll just go right where we usually put them through those loops. Nothing fancy on this row. All right, so just 1 double crochet in each of the single crochets, working all the way around our hat. And see how it looks kind of like it's sitting behind? That's exactly how we want it to look. 1 double crochet in each of the single crochets, working all the way around. Then we'll join back to that chain 3. I have completed row 8, and that's just 1 double crochet in each of those single crochets around. And you can see how that gave us a little bit of a lip there and really makes it look interesting. All right, so I joined my chain 3, and I'm going to chain 3. Now for row 9, we're going to be alternating regular double crochets and front post double crochets. So our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet, and now we're going to stitch around the post of the double crochet. The next stitch will be a regular double crochet. Then we'll stitch front post double crochet, and we're going to alternate every other stitch. And see how that looks? Regular double crochet, front post, regular front post, double crochet, alternating every other stitch. And this is how we're going to get that interesting texture stitch. All right, so double crochet in the next, front post double crochet in the next, and we'll alternate this all the way around. All the way around, and then we'll join back to our first chain 3. I have completed row 9, where we alternated front post and regular double crochets, and you can see how that makes a nice texture. All right, so we joined to our chain 3 and chained 3. Now we're going to do the opposite. All right, so we're going to double crochet in the front post double crochet, and we're going to front post in the regular double crochet. Double crochet in the front post at the top, and then front post double crochet in the regular double crochet. Just to clarify, when we're stitching in the front post double crochet, we're stitching at the top a regular double crochet, and when we're stitching in the regular double crochet, we're stitching a front post double crochet. So we're still alternating our stitches, but they're the opposite of what we did on the previous row. See how that looks? Here's our regular double crochets from the previous row. We're front posting in those. All right, so I'm going to regular double crochet at the top of my front post double crochet, and then front post double crochet in the regular. And we will repeat this, working all the way around our hat. And again, this is what forms that really cool texture stitch. And I really love how it looks. And it really is quite simple. All right, so we'll just continue to repeat this all the way around our hat, and again join back to that chain 3. I have now completed row 10, and you can see how pretty that is, where we alternated our front post and regular double crochets from the previous row, and that makes a beautiful texture. All right, and so now what we're going to do is we're going to repeat row 7, which was our 3rd loop, row 8, which is a solid row of double crochet, row 9, and row 10, these 2 alternating rows. We're going to repeat those 4 rows 3 more times for a regular beanie hat. If you want to make it a slouchy, you can repeat it for 4 more times. That'll give you a little bit more room so that it kind of droops in the back. All right, for the pattern, you're going to repeat row 7 through row 10 3 more times. So I have repeated row 7 through 10 3 more times. And again, this is to make a beanie hat. If you want it to be a slouchy, which gives you a little more room, you can repeat this again. It's totally up to you and how you want your hat to fit. So now what we're going to do is we're going to repeat row 7 one more time and stitch 1 row with our single crochets stitched in that 3rd loop. And you should be in good practice by now, since you did it 3 more times from the original time that we did it. All right, so what we're doing now is we're stitching another row of single crochets in the 3rd loop only. Just like we did on the other repeats. So I repeated row 7, stitching a row of single crochets, working in that 3rd loop. And now we just have 1 more row to do and we'll be all finished. All right, so I joined to my first single crochet with a slip stitch and chained 1. And all we're going to do now is just stitch 1 single crochet in each of those single crochets. And this is just to give us a nice edge on our hat to help it stay on our head. Alrighty, so 1 single crochet in each of the single crochets around. And we'll join back to that first single crochet. And our hat will be all completed and ready to be worn. Although it's a little hot right now, but this is a great hat to stitch up and make some sets when we get the scarf pattern out there as well for Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, any kind of gifts. So I have completed that last row of single crochet. I joined to my first single crochet and I weaved my end in. Make sure you weave that last end in. And so here is our back to school beanie in the butterscotch ombre, in the green ombre, and of course different color ombre. And so it's up to you what colors you want to use. I love it in the ombres. And of course this is ombre also, like I said. It's just 3 different ombres that I mixed together. And so you can have a lot of fun mix and matching. You can even get in your yarn stash whatever medium weight number 4 yarn acrylics that you have, wool, alpaca, as long as it's a medium weight number 4, you can make this fun back to school hat. And you don't have to be going back to school to love this hat. It's for everybody.